Welcome back, everybody, to the weekend show where I'll be breaking down the big mega cap stocks, including SpaceX. So, before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. And now, let's get right into the market. All right, welcome back, everyone. And we got a peace deal with Iran in question as Israel strikes Lebanon. Trump warns not to blow it, but it's been going on for quite some time, a couple of months now. We have a deal, we don't have a deal, and we'll see if we actually have a deal this week. Stock market. Dow was up 0.70%, Nasdaq up 0.31%, S&P up 0.50%, Russell up 0.87%, advancing 55% and 40% declining on the day of Friday. 11 sectors, pretty much all in the green except healthcare. Stock market map, a lot of the names are actually green. You can see on the screen, but only few names that were actually down. Amazon, and then Eli Lilly and Apple, even Microsoft were going down, did finish the day flat. Same thing goes for Nvidia and Broadcom and AMU, they were down a little bit on the day. We have FOMC next week on Wednesday. We'll have new Fed Chair Kevin Warsh coming out, and we'll do the Fed press conference at 2:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. and that's going to move the market. Fear and greed index now at 34, still on fear. Investor sentiment 30.4% are bullish, almost 48% are bearish here on the market, and 22% are neutral. So we'll see how the market moves next week. But now I think we should start with SpaceX. So let's get right into it, guys. So SpaceX, one of the biggest IPO in history, and Elon Musk becoming the first ever trillionaire, which is great. But again, things are not really looking too hot when you look at SpaceX because IPO price was what 135, and we opened somewhere else, and we went all the way up to what 175, 176. So massive move, and we don't have much data here, so I'm not gonna put moving averages, anchor view app, and all that. It's not gonna matter much. We're looking at 15-minute time frame, and as a matter of fact, Netflix will be out from this video completely from now on, and we're adding SpaceX because this is a $2 trillion company, and I think this has more weight than anything else right now, especially when it comes to names like Netflix. So we will be covering SpaceX instead of Netflix, guys. And unfortunately, there is too many. Maybe down the line, I'll make another video with some of the other names, including Netflix. But as of right now, we're going to continue with SpaceX. And I think a lot of you guys want this thing, then Netflix, right? So what's happening? 15-minute time frame. We do have resistance right here at 168. We closed at 160. A lot of consolidation here, right in between 165 and 168. So if this thing breaks over that, watch out for a move up to 171, 174, and going back up to possibly this high. And breaking over that will possibly go into new highs. But whenever something new comes out, I mean, I don't want to go too much into details. Let's just talk about Rivian, right? It came out and massive move to the upside, new company, a lot of the other names, a lot of other names. And then it actually fades. So, if you were really, into SpaceX, I would say wait some time. I think you're gonna find yourself, buying at a cheaper price if you're thinking about long term. I have not bought anything yet. I'm waiting to see what it does. If it goes higher over 200, it's okay. I don't have to chase it. But my target would be, somewhere around that IPO price or possibly even lower. That would be fantastic. But remember, earnings wise, I mean, this is just a company that exploring things. Nothing really big happening. It's not an a stock like Amazon. It's not Google. It's not Apple. And Elon Musk owns this, and also Tesla, and soon we'll be launching probably X. So I don't know what this dude is doing, but it's just making a lot of money for him. And when it comes to too much power, it's not actually a good thing. One man having this much power, this much money. especially for people that are, against him. It's really not good because the richer you get, the more power you get. You know, just bad things can happen to a lot of people, right, including Elon Musk. So we'll see how that goes, but as of right now, no chasing. These are key zones to watch as of right now on this 15-minute time frame, just consolidating. We'll see if it breaks out come tomorrow morning or breaks down below 157, and that should bring it down, possibly down here right around 150 or even lower, guys. On Broadcom, it was down 0.91%, so nothing big. And this can turn into some sort of a bear flag. But as of right now, we're holding 373 and we're getting rejection at 387. So 387 breaks. This thing can run easily up to 400, 400 plus. 413 would be the key area to watch. If it breaks below 373, watch out for 356 and possibly going even lower. This is going to be an area to watch if this thing comes in. Definitely a dip buying area, and this thing actually had a decent correction. If you look at it, guys, I mean, this is pretty big. We had a big correction on Broadcom. I mean, look at this move here from the top to the bottom. Wrong indicator right here. From the top to bottom, it's down. It's down quite a bit. You can see $125, 25 plus percent, almost 26. So this one here, definitely worth looking at it. But again, I mean, it's still pretty high at 400. If it comes in a little bit more, I think that would be a fantastic opportunity to play it back up to the upside. Even right here, it's not really bad an idea, but this thing is coming down, so you want to see some sort of a hammer, inverse head and shoulders, something here, some pattern before committing to this play to the upside. All right, so just a quick reminder to those who are really serious about trading and want to do this full time. You can see we had a bunch of trades last week and they were fantastic, and BDP massive gains, 45K for the week, which was really good to see. And if you really want to do this, like we had LMT calls that we sold, we had Walmart that we sold, then we had Google and a bunch of other trades. And if you're really, really serious about trading, you want to do this full time, head over to Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description. And if you go for annual membership, you do save some money. So check it out, guys. On Nvidia stock, it's absolutely flat on Friday, but it went down to 203, came back up. Not much really happening here. We had this massive move up, possibly a double top, and now we're coming down. So Nvidia, if it's gonna go up, we need to get over the 50 SMA, which is at 207 right here, almost 207-ish. If we can get over that, watch out for 212 and possibly even higher into the 20 SMA at 214.62 and even higher at 217. This thing breaks down below 203, which we held on Friday's session. Then watch out for 200 again and possibly down to 195.62 on Nvidia. On Tesla stock, it's up 1.83%. So Tesla here, I took a long position here, and that position is up right now. And I think there might be some more upside here. If you look at the Bollinger Band, it's sitting right here at 383. So it can really go much lower unless some really bad news comes out. But as of right now, Tesla can possibly come up and retest 416, 20 SMA, and possibly go into 430s here to retest this resistance right here at 432.75. If it comes down, the support level to watch 400 to 398, 50 SMA, and the 5-day moving average is right there. Underneath that, it'll come back down and retest 383 to 380 once again, and then the next support at 375.83. On Meta, it's down 0.26%. So Meta had this nice move down, and we did fill this gap. We went lower, and now we're just hanging in there at the lower Bollinger Band, which is at 561. So if it goes down more, maybe we come down and retest or fill this gap down here, 539.55. But if this thing gets over 5-day moving average, which is at 575, you can see high for the day was 576 on Friday. Then watch out for a move straight up to 600, and that can quickly happen on Meta because look at these Bollinger Bands. They're opening up now. It was contracting, and we talked about it in my video. If you're following the channel, you know exactly what I said before that. These Bollinger Bands are contracting, and we're going to see some sort of a big move. Looks like we did come down here, but now the Bollinger Bands are expanding here. You can see going up, this one coming down, and I think another big move is about to happen here on Meta. So Watch out if this thing gets over the 5 day, then more upside. If it doesn't do that, then watch out for more downside, maybe into 558, which we did on Thursday, possibly into 551.43, into the gap right here, 539.55. On Google stack it's up 0.45%. So you can see Google came actually down here 343.44. That's where I actually took an entry, 355 calls, and you guys saw that play, which was awesome. So I sold on that rally. It came down again, and I took another smaller, much smaller position, and even that one is up a little bit right now. But I think my stop would be 342. If that's out, if it's breaking below that, I'll get out of that small position and possibly will look for lower prices here on Google. But as of right now, significant correction, from 404 down to, you can see, 342, 350, 343 here. But if this thing gets in over especially these highs right here, 365-ish, it can definitely run into 373 and even into 383, where a lot of overhead supply here that Google has. But if this thing cannot hold right here, the 50-day moving average, which is barely holding 358, then we might come back and retest this 342 zone once again. You can see a lot of rejection here, and now we're coming back and retesting that area. On a Microsoft is absolutely flat on the day, and this is one of the worst looking charts that I have ever seen. I mean, this is crazy. We had this massive breakout, and I mean, look at how many days of selling. Just 2 weeks, sell. This thing, I think alone was down last week like 6-7%, which is massive for a big name like Microsoft. It's under $3 trillion market cap now, and just because they don't really have any AI news, this thing is dumping. So yes, at some point this will go up, this will hit all-time highs, and that's why the message always been here on Microsoft that don't try to catch this falling knife with short-term calls or shares or whatever you're doing short-term. Try to go long at least 1 year out. If you do that, even if it comes in a little bit more, what happens here on Microsoft, you will still be able to survive some of that volatility that you're seeing. So we did come all the way down to 382. The support held, we went back up, but this is a trend line here, downtrend. If we get over, I would say 397, 400, watch out for continuation, easily up to 405. And I think, whenever I do the next update, that's when we'll talk about it. I need to see some price action, bullish price action, some sort of a bounce here before thinking about going back up to the upside. But like I said, if you're thinking about long, this is the perfect stock right here. Even though it's a falling knife, that's why you gotta give this stock time. You cannot just rush in it and you think you're just gonna rush out of it. On Apple stock, it's down 1.52%. So Apple did have that big bounce from 288. You can see almost $10 bounce, 297.14, and then faded back down. So yes, it's forming this bear flag. If it breaks below 288, that would be a fake breakout, and it will come down to 285.49, 280, and possibly lower. But we do have a gap at 301.17. If this thing rises back up, gets over 294, 5-day moving average, watch out for continuation up to the gap, 301, possibly into 303.49 before going down, and that would be a head and shoulder pattern if that happens, if it comes up right here. On AMD, it's up nearly 5%. So AMD, if you actually draw a trend line here from the top to the bottom, you will see that breakout here. Now, some would call, this might be some sort of a double top, head and shoulder, whatever, whatnot. But as of right now, it looks really strong. I mean, we gapped up on Friday. We did not even fill the gap at 490, and we went higher, almost close to all-time high. So we'll see how AMD, I think it wants that 1T market cap, and that is where it's heading. And that means a breakout over 546 will take it to $1 trillion market cap here on AMD. Watch out if we come in here on AMD, that 504, 505 will be a key zone of support. Underneath that, watch out for 500 to 490 gap fill reversal. To the upside, there is nothing really here. If this thing wants to run, it can run back up to 546, and over that, that would be another breakout to all-time highs on AMD. On Amazon, stock is down 1.23%. So Amazon had a significant move to the downside. We did fill those gaps, and now it actually went down more. So we got the bounce off a 233, pretty much exactly gap fill reversal. We are not able to actually close over to 42. So that would be something to watch. Maybe Amazon, this thing bounces back up. We do have a gap at 269. And as of right now, Amazon, I think, also looks really good for a bounce. But we need to watch really carefully because it did close over 236. If that holds up and we can break 242, watch out for 250 in no time here on Amazon and possibly even higher. If it breaks below Friday's low, 233, then expect more downside. Possibly this thing would come down here and maybe top of the range here, possibly close the gap. But I don't think that's going to be the case this week unless this thing gets hit by some bad news. I think we might be heading higher here on Amazon after this decent pullback that we saw in last 2 weeks. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated.